The creation week, Genesis chapter 1. On the first day, God created light. On the second day, he created the firmament. On the third day, dry land appeared and vegetation covered the earth. On the fourth day, God created the sun and the moon. He made the stars also. The fifth day, birds and sea creatures. And on the sixth day, God created land animals and mankind. On verse 31, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. What about the seventh day? On the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. How do we get our time? Well, we get Earth years from one rotation around the sun. We get Earth's days from one complete turn on its axis. We get our months from the moon. Where do we get our weeks from? We get Earth's weeks from the creation week. Was the seventh day Sabbath kept before the law was given at Mount Sinai? Yes, God kept it with Adam and Eve. He not only kept the Sabbath, but he blessed the Sabbath and sanctified the day. The interesting thing was, Jesus continued in the New Testament, Matthew 2 verse 8, "For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day." That's also in Mark and Luke. The children of Israel kept the Sabbath before Mount Sinai. In Exodus 16:23, the Lord said, "Tomorrow is the rest day of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord." In verse 26 we read, 6 days ye shall gather it, that's the manna, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Verse 30, so the people rested on the seventh day. This experience happened before the Israelites arrived at Mount Sinai, where God spoke the 10 Commandments and wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. The Israelites kept the Sabbath for the next 40 years of wandering in the desert. God kept supplying the manna 6 days a week, until they entered the Promised Land, and they took the city of Jericho. Of course, we all know the 4th commandment of the 10. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labour and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, or your cattle, or the stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. You know that word remember means to recall what was before. Did Jesus expect his followers to keep the Sabbath forever? Matthew 24:20, Jesus said, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day." He was referring to the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD, many years after his ascension. In Isaiah 66:22 and 23, we read, "For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord." So the answer is yes. "And from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord." The Sabbath's a memorial to God's creative power. A 6-day creation and 1 day of rest. Some might question, what day is the 7th day? That's a good question, and the answer is easy. Let's look at the month of February, because it has 28 days this year, 2015. Sunday is the 1st day, and Saturday is the 7th day. Most calendars are set out like this, but not all. So let's look for some Bible proof. Matthew 28:1 says, "In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn towards the 1st day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre." Mark, Luke, and John all tell the same thing. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John can't be wrong. In Luke 4:16 we read, "As his custom was, he, Jesus, went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day." Will you choose to follow Jesus, the Creator God? Have you seen Earth's use-by date yet? It's worth a look. God bless you, friend.